Now, one of the most common questions I get asked as a guitar player is what scales should I learn and what order should I learn them? Now, quite rightly, guitarists want to learn scales to become better improvisers, but so many get stuck because there's so many scales out there and no clear path on how to learn them. So in this video, I'll show you exactly where you need to start with learning scales, what scales to learn, and how you can apply them to your own playing. Now, if you want to learn more about these scales or other scales, music theory, or how to play the guitar, then check out my links in the description below. So I'm going to start us off with the minor pentatonic scale, and I'm going to teach it in G just because it sits quite nicely on the fretboard. So our G minor pentatonic is going to start here at fret 3 on the low E string. And I'm then going to use my pinky finger to stretch up to fret 6. Now moving on to the A string, we're going to play fret 3, and then using my ring finger, I'm going to play fret 5. And I'm going to repeat that on the D string, fret 3 and fret 5. And that would be one octave. So far we've got 3, 6, 3, 5, 3, 5. Now I'm going to keep going. On the G string, we've also got 3, 5. And on the B string, we're going to go back to our 3, 6, and 3, 6. So practice this scale in different keys on the fretboard to become really familiar with it. Now our second scale I'm going to teach you is the major pentatonic. Again, it's a 5-note scale, and it's really important for starting to master the fretboard and to be able to improvise in different keys. So again, I'm going to teach it in the key of G just because it sits nice on the fretboard. So again, starting in the key of G, I'm going to start here at fret 3 on the low E string. And then I'm going to play fret 5 on the E. Moving to the A string, I'm going to play fret 2 and then fret 5. And on the D string, I'm also going to play fret 2 and fret 5. And there's your first octave. Now on the G string, I'm going to play fret 2 and then fret 4. And for my final two strings, my B string and my E string, I'm going to play 3, 5. Now, like with the minor pentatonic, you should also master this scale and know it inside out. Try practicing it in different keys and become really familiar with it. Understand where the intervals sit within the scale and where your chord tones lie so you can really start improvising like a pro. And remember, if you want to go deeper on scales or on learning the guitar, then remember to check out my links in the description below. The major scale is what we use as a reference point for everything else in music. We already know our major pentatonic, so it's essentially just going to be building off of that, and that's why I've taught it a little bit later in this video. So again, starting in G, I'm going to start here at fret 3 on the low E string, and then I'm going to reach up to fret 5. And then on the A string, I'm going to play frets 2, fret 3, and then fret 5. On the D string, I'm going to play 2, 4, and then 5. And there's my first octave. To give us another octave, I'm then going to start at fret 2 on the G string, play fret 4, and then fret 5. On the B string, I'm going to play 3, and then 5. And on my high E, I'm going to play 2, 3, 5. The next scale we're going to look at is the natural minor scale. and it's kind of the sister scale to our major scale. It again can be used as a reference point when we compare more advanced minor scales to it. So back in our favourite spot in the key of G, I'm going to play the G natural minor scale. And I'm going to start again at fret 3 on that low E string. I'm then going to use my ring finger to play fret 5 and my pinky finger to play fret 6. And we're going to repeat that on the A string, fret 3, fret 5 and fret 6. On the D string, we're going to play fret 3 and fret 5. And then on the G string, we're going to play 2, 3, 5. On our B string, we're going to play 3, 4, 6. And on the high E, we're going to play 3, 5, 6. So now we've mastered both major and minor scales and their pentatonics. I'm going to build on the minor pentatonic to give us a blues scale. So like with our minor pentatonic, I'm going to start at fret 3 and then stretch to fret 6. And then on the A string, I'm going to play notes fret 3, I'm going to play fret 4, and then I'm going to play fret 5. And it's this fret 4 here, that's our blue note. It's called the flat 5. This is our 5th degree. We flatten it to give us that bluesy sound. You can hear there how it sounds bluesy. So we've got 3, 6, 3, 4, 5. On the D string, 3, 5. On the G string, we're going to go 3, 6. On the G string, we're going to go 3, 5, 6, and there's our blue note again. And on the B string, 3, 6, and 3, 6 again on the high E string. Now, if you're really comfortable with your pentatonic shapes, which by now you should be, you can try adding in that flat 5, that blue note, to add a little bit of spice to your improv. So there's some of the fundamental scales. I now want to move on to some more sort of intermediate scales, and we're going to touch on modes. Now, modes can be a confusing topic because people teach them in different ways. Both are right, it just comes down to how you want to understand them. A mode is essentially a variation of a scale. So if I was to play a G major scale, but I start from a D instead, I'd actually be playing a D mixolydian. Technically that's the same notes as a G major scale, but because I've started from a different note, I've got a different reference point. I'm starting from a different tonic. Now all of these modes have different sounds and different characteristics, so you can use them when improvising to sort of add different flavours to your solos. But if you were to play them consecutively, one after another, you would essentially just be playing inversions of the G major scale. So our first scale, our first mode, would be the G major scale. So I'm going to start that here at fret 3. And obviously we've already learnt that scale from earlier in the video. Then starting from our 2nd degree, or fret 5 here, we'd have the Dorian scale next. Then onto the Phrygian scale. And very similar to the Phrygian scale, we've got the Lydian scale. We're then into our Mixolydian scale here at fret 10. And then up at fret 12, we've got our natural minor scale, or our Aeolian mode. And then we'll finish it off with our 7th mode, the Lydian scale. So as you can see there's a lot of scales to get through. I would recommend taking your time with each of those shapes. Practice moving between them, practice playing them on their own, because they can be used in so many different ways. I'm not going to go too deep in how they work right now, but if you do want to touch on the modes and other scales, remember there's a link in the description below. I've been running my own online guitar school, Play Like a Pro, for the last few months, and students have found it really useful to master all the different concepts there are to understand. It's the first one-stop guitar course out there that's taught by professional musicians, and then offers monthly mentoring check-ins to make sure you get the best education possible. So do check that out and all the benefits of signing up in the link below. But until then, happy practicing, and I'll see you in the next video.